I don't know if this is going to be thoroughly entertaining, but here's hoping. So I'm going to just continue, man. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now Akari she's got her back to the camera. Oop, I'm putting Zen's hair on her. I am a silly goose. I want the shadow filled. That's what I want. So let's just kind of do it like so. Yeah, that's not too horrible. I love the clip capability. It's definitely cool. Coolness. Alright, we'll just kind of relegate it to that, I would say. And then we probably want to do the shadow not filled little bit here. You know, this is an anime after all. Well, I didn't like those. So, just add a little detail. Nah, maybe not. It's not too bad. Okay, so now, actually what I want to do is jump back to the fills layer, and let's just go through here and do what we've got to do to get this whipped into shape. Oh my goodness gracious. There is a fair... actually, I'm going to leave this on fill mode and hit the Alt key. Yeah, there's a fair amount of fixing here we got to do, folks. And unfortunately, we're not getting those nice points either. I'm going to undo that. I'm getting lazy here. That's pretty sad since I just started here this session and I'm already getting lazy. But yeah, that's better. 20 seems nice because I can get a point. And then I'm feeling like it's giving me some variation. Yeah, and pressure too. So actually, that's quite nice. Did you hear my phone just now? Could you hear that? That's my friend who is trying to make the case that the Mandela effect is actually a thing. And I'm convinced it's not. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but he's really a conspiracy theorist. He eats it up, man. He's convinced the Earth is flat and, you know, all this sort of stuff. I'm convinced he's in error on that particular point. But I looked into it, you know. I did look into it. I did look at all the videos and yada, yada, yada. Okay, unfortunately, this is again where I wish I could hit a hotkey and sample this so that it jumps to the correct color. That's one way that OpenTunes is way faster when it comes to doing painting. Okay, so now what we want to do is just have this here. Well, actually, I have a closed shape, so I shouldn't have to do this, what I'm talking about right now, but boom. Boom. Okay, so now, geez, Zen does need some eyebrows, but I guess I decided earlier that I was going to put the eyebrows in the lip sync layer, which I think is just kind of a sort of a you know, it's a subjective decision. You can do it that way. It's just what I find is a lot of times when I'm doing lip sync, I also find that I want to put in a little bit of characterization in the eyebrows as well. So you know, most of this stuff is basically static. Yeah, I don't like that. Mostly static shots. And so, since they're not really moving, I don't necessarily see the point in having You guys know what I'm trying to say? Finish your sentence, Dave. Can't you finish your sentence? What's wrong with you, son? Are you getting senile? Like me. Oh. How about a shadow? Oh, man. That's looking pretty good. So, yeah. I mean, there's really... I gotta say that using... Okay, so I'm talking about how OpenTunes is better than Blender. Well, here's the way that Blender's better. What I'm doing here with the shadows, you really can't do in OpenTunes because, without belaboring the point, the upshot is that each level in OpenTunes is effectively a flat one-dimensional, or well, it's a two-dimensional flat grid of pixels. Why does that matter? Well, because it means that you can create a shadow and you can clamp it to your character as well, but you can't do this. This. You can't build it up like that. So, when it comes to doing shadows, that's definitely one way that Blender kicks. OpenTunes is collective fanny. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of go like this and hope for the best. And I think that's okay. Probably a little bit of a something like that would be good as well. Just a little something there. Well, I don't like that. Well, wait, maybe I do. Actually, I think that's fine. Okay, so if I'm going to do this properly, I really should jump over to the skin and fix that little problem. Oh, come on. Fill in, curse you! Alright, shadows. So now, I want to go here. And I'm going to try this way. See if I can get sort of that anime looking thing going on. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad look, actually. Let's do this. Put a little bit behind his ear. Yeah, that's not bad. So, I do want to shadow in his eyes, though, I must say. And yeah, it's one of those things you kind of want to hope you get it right, because obviously I didn't draw his eyes like the most amazingly perfect here. And I'm a little lazy about that on this particular shot, only because I know that this is roughly the actual size of the frame. I know that his eyebrows are going to be holding sway. Actually, I'll tell you what. What is the dialogue line here? I think all he says here is Akari. No, he says Akari. What exactly is going on here? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to just put in the eyebrows here. Lines. And let's go with Zen hair. And we've got the brush, ink on smooth, so. Well, that's interesting. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. Zen hair. Okay, so this is a filled color, so that's what I should have done. Not sure I'm sold on. Not sure I'm sold on that expression. I'm gonna try this. Okay, yeah, that's better. Unfortunately, because I did it in that order, like a silly goose. Oh wait, I didn't undo the other one. I gotta get rid of that. Zen is not an intense guy. He's a guy that tends to keep his cool. And by the way, I'm gonna tighten that up a bit. I just kind of feel like, I hate to belabor this so much, but there's something about this that I don't like. Okay, so let's go into edit mode and let's grab this. What I'm going to do is, first of all, let's make sure I've selected the lines layer, and then what I want to do is grab just these two little guys right here and hit L for select linked. I need to make sure that proportional editing is off so that I can move this over. Okay, now the obvious, pitifully, stupidly obvious problem is that the fill is already in there. But, you know, I just got a little sloppy here, little lazy, and so I'm having to jump through a few extra hoops. Nope, that's not the right one. Okay, I kind of got it. Yeah, because I see what I did. Okay. Now, to make ourselves not go crazy here, since I'm in the fill layer already, what I'm going to do is go into draw mode, and I'm going to go ahead and color in his eyes. Now, is that going to cover his hair? Yes, it is going to cover his hair. So I do have to make like that. Okay, so this may backfire. I may wind up regretting this, but what the heck, let's give it a crack. Lines, charcoal ink, and okay, obviously that does not make sense. Okay, I didn't mean to switch to eyes. Hello? Okay, let me just check something here. Okay. Alright, so now what we want to do is, once again, isolate the lines layer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these guys. Get rid of them. Okay. Now, if I really wanted to be smart about it, I'll tell you exactly what I would do. Okay, so this is a blender tip. I would go into here and hit select linked and make a duplicate. Just bring this over here. Okay, now if I pull out, I can hit the G key and then shift to dial that in. Now I can hit the star key so I'm not soloing the layer, and then go back to the fills layer, back to Zen's iris, and now I'm going to paint in his iris. Oh man, come on, Blender. Really, dude? You don't include the thickness of the stroke in what ultimately gets filled, which seems a little odd to me, but okay. Well, we're living with it. We're getting past it. Okay. What about the young man's nose? I mean, he does have a nose. I think something like that would be quite suitable. I may have to do some sculpting here. I feel like maybe I made him look a little too young there. And so to deal with that, what I need to do is make sure I'm not soloed. I want to go into sculpting mode. Yeah, sculpting mode. And I need to make this smaller so I can really control it. think that's a small improvement, but an improvement nonetheless. And now let's forge ahead. So obviously the shadows layer, okay, this is going to become quite distracting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw a dot to create a keyframe. And now my thinking is, let's just deal with the fills. Let's get the colors in there, then we'll go back and do battle with the shadows, because I don't really like having to go in and hide my, create new keyframes, just so I'm not looking at all the stuff from the previous keyframe. Hope you followed all that. I'm sure you did, because you're smart. That was not supposed to happen. I know why it happened. Actually, I thought we said we were going to put our leak size back to 3. Cause you. Unbelievable. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's on the fills layer. Okay, so my assumption would be this is the problem. Apparently this leak is truly just simply too big. Yep, that was the problem. Of course, now we have this other problem, which is Blender cutting it off. As you guys can see. Man, I tell you, I just don't dig. And this is the problem anime, you've always got these the hair, the bane of anime production is hair, in my opinion. That is the bane, baby. I always have to go in and fix the hair. And I mean every time. Okay, there you go. So, eyes. I guess we can actually take the control key and then go back here and click. Oh, come on. Really? Okay, I gotta do it the same way apparently. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, come on, come on. My good old friend Donio used to say that. Come on, he'd say. Okay, so now we got to get this. That's fine. Now let's go into the lines area, charcoal ink, and just fix that up a bit. It's so tiny on the screen that I don't think it much matters, but this kind of does. Don't like all that noise. Okay, so now this shot is exactly the same as that shot. So I'm going to hit duplicate or Shift D, and then I need to come back. And actually, I need to duplicate it twice. But on this shot, I got to go in and fix his eyes. So, gosh, there's probably more than one way to do that. But what I'm thinking is I would do well to go to the fills layer, isolate it, go into edit mode, select this, and hit X and delete the strokes. Delete the strokes. Okay, that worked. Now I can go into Zen's iris. We're still in the fill layer. So now we can go to draw mode. We want the paint bucket. Oh, come on. Come on, Donio used to say. Donio's dead now. Donio died of pancreatic cancer a few years ago. A couple of years ago. So, he's partying in the afterlife, as far as I know. Okay, so now we do have a bit of a problem in that what I really want to do is, man, I need to duplicate those eyebrows. Those eyebrows are a bit of a pain. Definitely a bit of a pain. Well, I'm always walking this tightrope between stuff that's tight, inked, looks like it was very carefully inked like a traditional cell, versus a looser style where things are just sketched and drawn more. It tends to get me in trouble once in a while. So I'm going to go edit mode. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, it does seem to want to let me grab the fills, so I don't know if this is going to work actually, but I'm going to try. I'm going to go Control V. Okay, really? Really, folks? Okay. Control C, Control V. Okay, and I might as well do it again. Okay, now let's jump out of edit mode and see if it did the trick, and it really didn't, so we need to do the lines as well. So star key, so we're not soloing that level or layer. Lines, and I just want to do the exact same maneuver, which means edit mode, Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay, back out of edit mode, and I think that should do the trick. Yeah, that's close enough for rock and roll. Shoot a mile. Other than, doggone it, other than this, I need to go double A, Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay. Now we're back in business. And what the heck? Okay, so now here. Okay, so again, what I want to emphasize is that it's my observation that jumping between doing shadows and doing fills is not proving to be all that productive. So what I'm going to do is hit the star key twice so that I've now soloed, sorry, 3 times apparently. So I've now soloed my fills and need to be in not edit mode, but draw mode. Cool. I assume that this is erroneous. It is erroneous. Okay. So now we got to get her eyes, which underscore something that if you're smart, and I know you are, you probably... Oh. Sorry. You're probably shouting out is obvious, which is I should have done her, the whites of her eyes first, and then go back and put the irises in. I shouldn't have. Got a little ahead of myself. Little ahead of myself. Little ahead of myself. Boom, 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 boom. Scribble, 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 scribble. Oh, geez, that's horrible. All right, I'm going to do this the Blender magic way. And unfortunately, skin, we got to do this and that. And oh my goodness, so many corrections. So, yeah. I got to tell you, folks. I like inking in Blender. I have to confess, right now, I'm just going to make it official. I would say painting in Blender is probably worse than is worse than painting in OpenTunes. But neither one of them are exactly pleasurable. You know, just for the reason I've said, which is you're just spending a lot of time fixing things that went wrong. Ugh. But at least you can, you know, at least you can fix it. That's cool. She looks down and realizes that her dress is starting to fall off, which I don't know if you've noticed, but girls tend to frown on having their dresses publicly removed. It's definitely something that I mean, I would say that men also don't like to have their dresses publicly removed, except that men don't normally wear dresses. So, just wanted to clarify that for you folks. Just trying to get some clarity. Okay. Since we're here, should we go ahead and do Zen's eyes? Why not? By gum and by golly. After all, it's nothing but fun. Seems like I've been here before. I do think I've been here before, folks. Yep, those whites of the eyes will get you. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there and go back and start dealing with some irises. And look, there they are. So her irises happen to be the same color as her nightie, which is just one of those amazing coincidences that makes life so much nicer. Or could it be that when I... Okay, really? Why did the other one work and this one didn't? That's a bit strange. Or maybe it's that back when I was first doing the color, I got lazy and decided to reuse her nightie color. That's probably what happened. I don't really remember now. It's been a while. Okay, will this fill successfully? Yes. And yes. And yes. And yes. Uh-oh, somebody's at the door. I'm going to have to stop. That's a half hour. There will be more later. So what the heck? I'm just continuing where I left off. Yeah, the neighbor inadvertently tossed his frisbee into our backyard. That's what he did. And man, look at all the holes. Ugh. Jeez, oh Pete. I'm just really feeling like we're having some quality control issues here, folks. You know, I could have done like Daniel Lara did on Hero. And I think what he did was smart, which is he basically embraced, at least from what I've seen of it, you know, he embraced a very loose style where there's a lot of variation in the lines. And it just, the style of the production is not your traditional, you know, Saturday morning cartoon. There just isn't the level of precision, and that's actually a perfectly valid creative choice, and it looks good for what it is, you know. So I'm talking about the Hero Open movie, which is done with the Blender grease pencil. Oh, come on. So, oh, no wonder I did that with the skin color instead of the hair color. You know, here I'm trying to, and I'm bouncing back and forth, admittedly, between a more traditional animation approach. I'm basically trying to see what I can get away with, you know. So I've certainly taken to doing more, you know, inking that has more variation in the line, just because it's just easier to get a satisfactory result, really, is the upshot. Okay, so this one I'm going to have to do this way. So yeah, I mean, it's just tedium. I mean, look at the squiggliness on that line. But that's okay. I mean, basically that still looks fine, especially at the actual scale that it's going to be at when it's all done, which would be roughly like this. We can see a little missing skin. Sometimes we worry about showing too much skin, and in this case, we're concerning ourselves with not showing enough skin. Yeah. Let's keep going. Did I actually crank through all this? I think I did, although I see a couple errors here. Skin. Bam! Yeah, I mean, okay. It's not great. I mean, it's like don't look too close, folks. But that's been true of this entire production, actually. If the truth be known. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't need to click that twice. Zen's hair. Boom. Oh, come on! As Donnie would say. Alright, so this time I'm not going to make the same mistake. This time I'm going to close that gap, but then I'm going to zoom out. Look at that. That's pretty respectable, folks. Pretty respectable. Pretty respectable. Okay, what are we going to do with that? I'm just going to paint over it. I'm going to cheat. Well, one of the tried and true tools in the animator's toolkit is cheating. We cheat all the time to hide flaws when we're filmmaking. Some of you who are watching this are kind of new to my channel, and the reason for that is because some of the traffic has definitely increased since I started dealing more with the Blender grease pencil as opposed to just OpenTunes. So if you're new to the channel, you may not know that I actually do know a few things about filmmaking because I've actually written and directed golly, 8 movies, although a couple of them were so awful that, you know, they don't count. There was really only one that was notably successful, and that was a chick flick horse movie called Healed by Grace. And that movie, it made about $1 million. I've told the story here before. The problem is that that film was able to succeed because of a retail marketplace that doesn't exist anymore. The faith and family genre has really been damaged in the last few years in terms of the marketplace that existed in the retail sector for that type of entertainment. It's gone. Family Christian stores declared bankruptcy, and that was it. Overnight, the retail basis for the industry was just disappeared. And there's still Lifeway stores, but and plus DVDs are no longer a thing either, so that was gonna become a problem as well, since it really was the direct, the impulse buy DVD marketplace is really what made that success possible for the most part. So Zen's hair. Okay, we're gonna have this problem again. So last year, I released the sequel, which features Sean Young. Oh gosh. Okay, you guys aren't supposed to look at this. Okay, I'll divert here for a moment. This is actually software I'm working on. Okay, I wanted it to run in the browser, and it's got some interesting functionality. Like, for example, if I can be sketching. I don't even need pressure sensitivity. I can be sketching with my pencil tool, and I can just hit a quick key, and it'll get just a little bit darker. So I can basically rough in my character this way, okay? And then at any time, I could switch to the inking tool, but I also can hit the tilde key on my keyboard, and instantly the pencil gets replaced with the inking tool, which I wish other programs worked this way, because that way you can sort of be sketching and then you just hit the tilde key and then tighten up that line, right? So what happens is, and this is really the main reason I'm continuing to work on this software, is that the pencil test stage and the inking stage really happen in tandem. You're actually doing both at the same time. You're just switching tools, so you're sort of sketching here, and then you go boom, you know, boom, and before you know it, you've inked the darn thing. Now there's still plenty of problems to work out in the development of this software. I mean, a lot of problems. I know how to do animation, but I haven't implemented it in this project yet. So you can go like so, and if I hit the eraser, which I probably need to change the code because right now the eraser is too small, but basically what happens is the pencil test gets erased and leaves the ink behind. So I'm gonna add a hotkey that lets you, I'm gonna hit one key and boom, all the pencil lines disappear. And then I really like the poly arc tool, which lets you go click, 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 click. So the way poly arc works is you click, and if you hit escape, it just cancels out. But if you click, you not only can do a real precise ink line, but also it automatically starts the next line where you left off the other one. So doing that anime hair that I was complaining about is fairly easy with the poly arc tool, or you can just switch to the ink tool. And the inking tool has a smoothing factor, which right now I think is only set to 5 pixels, so it doesn't smooth very much. But if I turn it up to like 25, then you get the effect of the line lags behind but is very smoothed out and average. So this stuff is just crap to test interface stuff, because I haven't really went ahead and built the interface yet. So, and actually, if the truth be known, I'll tell you a little secret here, folks. If you follow this link, davidweese.webdirect.org/ANM8 animate.me/canvas-draw-object.html, you can doodle around in this as well if you want to. I don't know why you would. You can't save your work. There's no undo. It's pretty ugly at this point, but what you do, I'll just show you real quick. What you do is you hit the D key. The D key turns on the pencil. The 2 key makes it a little darker, little darker, little darker. The 1 key makes it a little lighter, little lighter, little lighter. The S key switches to inking. I wanted to have D and S right next to each other. Or you can go back to the D key, and while drawing you can hit the tilde key, and as long as it's pressed down it'll do ink, but when you let up on it, it switches back to the pencil. And then A for the poly arc tool, and there's some other secret hotkeys in there that will only cause you problems because they don't do anything useful. But one of these days, Norton, one of these days, I'm probably going to turn this into something kind of useful. Because the reason it's useful is because the concept is that every frame of an animation is a cell. And so you want to have layers, just like you do in Blender, just like you have levels in OpenTunes. You want to have layers for each of your characters or props or whatever. But each one of those layers in this software, the way I designed it, it's intrinsically has a sub-layer for pencils, inks, fills, shadows, that sort of thing. So it's a little more self-contained. It's very much oriented towards as rapid as possible production of anime and or Saturday morning cartoons kind of thing. Will I finish it? It just depends. I only started poking at it a month ago or so, and there was quite a bit I had to learn about JavaScript and the HTML canvas and all that sort of thing. But So, we'll see where it goes, but it is developing slowly. But the basic thing is that if I come up with another tool, like the release of Blender 2.8 sort of interrupted the process, for the simple reason that, look, if the tools that are out there and available are doing what I want to do, why do I need to build my own, right? So that's the driver there. And so the reason I jumped over to the browser, though, was to say, if you do Amazon, let's say Amazon Healed by Grace 2. Yeah, and there you go. There's the movie I wrote and directed and released it last year. It's available on Prime, and I think with Prime Video it might be free to watch. I'm not sure. But yeah, and that featured Sean Young, who was in, Ace Ventura. She was in, the big one was Blade Runner. She was Rachel. So anyway, she's a very nice gal. Very nice girl. She's like my friend, though, the Flat Earth guy. She is a conspiracy theorist in a major way. She is definitely a conspiracy theorist. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I certainly have opinions about some of those sorts of things, and it's a lot of fun to explore. So, but what I will say about Sean Young is, I mean, I put her in the worst possible position. This is a fairly low-budget movie. So I've got Sean Young in the position where she's going to be on the set. There is no hair and makeup people. There is no wardrobe. There is no lighting technique. There's nothing. It's literally just us on the set, couple actors, really, really small production. And she was a little freaked out, but actually, you know what? She had a great time. And so did I. It was fun. I would definitely work with her again. So what I was saying is she has a reputation as a Hollywood bad girl. It's all BS. It's not true. She's a really sweet person, actually. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Look at that. That's just atrocious, isn't it? That's atrocious. So yeah, the problem is that the sequel, despite having Sean Young in it, will never be even remotely as successful as the original, I'm sure. It can't be. It's a whole different marketplace today. Whole different world. And so, yeah, it's a bummer, but what are you going to do? The world changes, and that's a good thing. Okay, ninja costume. I'm not so sure about this. Okay, that definitely did not work. We're in the fills layer. Why did that not fill when I have it down here close to the edge? That is really strange. But okay, for lack of a better idea, I'll go like this. So basically this year I said, you know what? I quit. I'm done with making movies for a while. I've made a good number of them, and it was fun, but basically I'm kind of bored with it. So I decided this year I'm literally kind of taking the year off, more or less, and I decided I'm going to learn how to do animation because I've always been a cartoonist. I thought, you know what, that'd be fun. I'm just like going to start working on animation. So that led to Blender, because I've been using Blender since 1999. Oops, that's going to backfire. Yeah, I saw that coming. So, I was using the grease pencil and getting a little bit perturbed with it, frankly, and then I found OpenTunes, and OpenTunes was actually, at first OpenTunes was even worse. So really early in the process, I used to not speak favorably of OpenTunes. And later it turned into not speaking favorably about the Blender Grease Pencil 2.8. Whatever, man. But the latest version, pretty good. Pretty good. I think they did a good job. It's not perfect. but it's, close enough. All right, so Zen's robe. Zen's hair. Gee, will this one fill properly? It did. Wow, that's kind of cool. Okay, Alt key. Now go in and fix all the things that didn't work. So somebody's going to post something that'll tell me some things about the leak size and the thickness and how I can mitigate this problem. So whoever you are, if you want to post, go ahead. But I will tell you, I've sort of tried all the different permutations, I think. And what I've discovered is that the filling technology in the Blender 2.8 grease pencil is not stellar. It's pretty good, but it's not like amazingly stellar. No way. Not at all. Still got some maturing to do. But hey, man, I just showed you my software, and my software is nowhere near as cool as this, so who am I to talk, right? I am nobody. I'm nobody. But I have a good time. I really, really do. I really, really do. I think I said that in my Bill Clinton voice. I didn't do her eyes. I shouldn't have done. Why the heck? What was I thinking? What prompted me to do the irises first? What kind of a patently insane lunatic would do such a thing? I know who would do that. Zap Brannigan. I love Zap Brannigan. I love that episode of Futurama where Zap and Leela. Okay, am I gonna fix that right there? I really should. Where they get stranded. They get stranded on a planet or something. Or at least it appears they've been stranded on a planet. And Zap has set the whole situation up to essentially force. So him and Leela are going to have to repopulate the planet because apparently all the people are dead, and it's just them, and it's simply the right thing to do to try to save humanity by repopulating it. Well, that was just a scam on Zap's part to get in Leela's pants, because it turns out that every single thing, one by one, about the situation turns out to have been a lie. Every time she catches him in a lie, he's like, no! And then he confesses. And, she's like fairly forgiving. She can let that one go. I mean, it's kind of sweet that he really wanted to get with her, And then one by one, it's like it turns out there's another line, another line, another line. If you don't watch Futurama, you'd be going, what's he talking about, man? What is he talking about? Yeah, we are in the fills layer, so let's go like this. Let's just create a barrier so we can make like that. Okay, so now this underscores a definite problem. The reality is that the ninja costume, I was going to address this earlier, but the ninja costume really is not supposed to be charcoal. I mean, it doesn't have to be dead black, but frankly, it needs to be pretty close because our ink color is supposed to be more of a charcoal. So now what I'm going to do is just make a slight modification to our ink. If it's on the gray side, that's perfectly fine. It gives the animation a little bit of a softer look. So, anyway, that's something I've been kind of keeping in the back of my mind I was going to need to do. So now, do we have a leak? Oh, brother, do we ever have a leak? Let's just go like that. Hope it works. And it did. And now I can do the ninja costume there. And then I can get Mr. Ninja's eyes. We're actually getting surprisingly close to the end of this sequence, actually, because after the ninja, gosh, what color are his eyes? You know what? I actually do not know what color this guy's eyes are. Okay, and this poor sap, this is the guy who got knocked out of the window. Where the heck? There he is. And look, miracle of miracles. It's exactly what I thought. That's hilarious. I thought to myself, okay, what would I do? What I would do is I would steal the color of his wraps and just use that color again. And that turns out that's what I did. Awesome. Awesome. Now, on to the next. On to the next frame. Yes. All right. Gosh. Okay. Really? Really? Okay. There's a leak right there. Speaking of Megatron, last night. Yes. Last night I was watching on Amazon Prime. I watched the premiere episode of Eureka, which I haven't watched that show in a while. Love that show. Love Colin Ferguson. Just a great guy. I would love to put that guy in a movie. Good actor. Seems to be a real positive kind of guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, but guess who was a guest star on the premiere episode of Eureka? Who knew? But Gary Chalk. So you say, Dave? Who's Gary Chalk? Gary Chalk was the voice of Optimus Prime on Beast Wars. Did a bloody good job too. Bloody good job. All right. Yeah, normally I can't do Optimus Prime. Never could do Optimus Prime. I can do Megatron, but I can't do it now because, strangely enough, okay, so there's a video on my YouTube channel where I sing Catmandu by Bob Seger, which is extremely rusty, and it's kind of a similar technique to singing like White Snake or something, like way back in the throat, very, very, very rusty, like that, you know, kind of thing. And if I go and sing some White Snake, then I can do Megatron. You know, that's like my warm-up, is to sing some heavy metal. It gets my voice deeper. Just not very much. It's just a couple notes. You only gain a couple notes, but that couple notes in my case, because I don't actually have that deep of a voice, that couple notes makes the difference between whether you're pulling off the voice. Wow. Mind control stuff. Yeah. See. I know you guys don't really care, but this is what I'm talking about, I think. I think this is it.
This is Megatron. You have a priority call coming through. You will not ignore it. No.
Yeah. That's my ringtone. My ringtone is me being Megatron. This is Megatron, leader of the Predacons. You have a priority call coming through. Yes. See, I can't get the resonance without a warm-up. If I sit here and I talk and I allow my voice to sort of float deeper and deeper, maybe it'll happen. I don't know. But, okay. So now, it could be handy at some point in the future. I mean, I've certainly done enough voiceovers over the years, but some voice acting, you know, for cartoons, man. Taught my parrot to say, "Good news, everyone." Zuko, can you say it? Yeah, my parrot's named Zuko. He's named after Zuko, Prince Zuko from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Where is the leak? I don't like searching for leaks. I find it very, very irritating. Very irritating indeed. Oh, and now it does not color to the top. I find that increasingly irritating. By the way, if you're from India, please don't be offended. I'm just being silly, okay? I'm not trying to crack on anybody. I have actually a dear friend who is from, well, she was from Bombay, but of course they don't call it Bombay anymore. It's Mumbai, and she's back in Mumbai. Her parents are really elderly, like 90s, and yeah, that didn't work. I knew that wasn't going to work. I was really getting sloppy when I drew this. And so now she's back in Mumbai, caring for her parents. Pretty much full-time job. Yeah, they're both in their 90s and still kicking, man. Okay, so now you ask yourself, why in the world were you so sloppy on this guy's hand? Well, the reason is because this is on twos. This is what you're going to see. Basically that. That's what you're going to see. Okay. Now, that's not all you're going to see, because the other ink layer, which goes over top, I explained this in a previous video, but basically what I was going for is in Pulp Fiction, when the young kid comes out of the room and fires like 6 shots at Samuel Jackson and misses 6 times. That's what I wanted to capture. So he makes a snarky comment, and the guy's like, that's it. Rather anticlimactic, but I thought it was funny. It entertained me, and okay, it's my cartoon, so if it entertains me, by gum and by golly, I'm allowed to do that, right? I think so. I do think I am. So now, what do we want? We want the ninja costume. Yes, that came out perfect. Perfect. Okay, maybe this will be perfect if I push it up to here and just patch this little spot right here. Yes. Yes. Ninja wraps. Back to skin. Gotta patch that little guy. I'm actually using my mouse right now, which is kind of stupid. Boom. Okay, and what about this wrap? We gotta do this wrap. Cool beans. Oh wait, we're not done. Sorry. Thought we were done there for just a brief shining moment. I actually thought I was done. I thought the work was complete. But then I discovered there's still a great deal to do. There's a great deal to do. Okay, and every time I do this, I have this little issue right here. Which is, again, I'm getting away with murder because this guy is moving fast. I mean, you could justifiably even like put motion blur in this shot. I mean, I only put this shot in here just as sort of a transition. So, boom. And boom. And, well, okay, let's do that and go boom. Remember, that's mostly off screen, so I can cheat a little bit. Yes, cheating. Cheating is the time-honored methodology. Okay, so again, I'm going up to the top of the screen. Gonna do some skin. Gonna do some hair. Gonna do some hair. Oh, come on! Really, dudes? Okay, how is that happening? That makes no sense. That makes no sense, doesn't it? I don't think it makes sense. Aha! Here's the problem right here. Jeez. And believe it or not... Oh, I thought I had one more, but thank goodness I don't. Okay, so ninja costume. Boom. And actually his hair... Okay, I drew his hair... Okay. I'm gonna look past this. This is an error. I'm not even gonna explain what the error is, because you know what? You probably don't know. And more significantly, you don't care. Alright, so I'm going to skip over what the mistake is. There's a mistake in there that we're going to pretend isn't there. Click. I need to stop using the mouse and go back to my stylus. Styluses are much more fun. Oh yeah. That's looking good. That's looking good. That's looking good. And we got Zen's hair. Boom, boom. Oh yeah, and except it's going to be cut off. Duh. I knew that. Okay. It looks pretty good. And then I believe everything stays the same because the only thing that moves here is the ninja guy. Now I need to look at this. Okay, I put the ink. I guess that's okay. That's okay. I believe once I get to this shot, I believe these guys are all on, let's see, I need to go here. Yes, they're all on one layer. So it's only up to here that they're on separate layers. So that allows me to color Mr. Maniacal. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the fills, and then this is actually kind of important. If I remember correctly, the stacking order goes top is on top. It used to be the opposite. With Blender 2.79, it was like a downward flow through the layers. So the layers at the bottom were rendered on top. It's not that way anymore. So the fills, this needs to be right there so that I can, and I need to reveal, hide lines, but leave ink 2 on. So now we should be here. That should be unlocked. I guess what I need to do is just hit the star key a couple times. Okay, so now I've soloed the fills layer, but the ink is still visible. So now what should happen is I should see my guy. Now, you're going to complain probably, or you might complain, that this guy, at least at this point, looks a little silly. Okay, wait a second. Alright, folks, don't quote me on this one. I may have actually made a mistake here. Because it seems to me that the other ninja's got to be in front of him. So, but he's got to be in front of Akari, so that's going to be a problem. If that doesn't make sense, let me just say... Okay, so yeah, the problem is his layer is on top so that he can pass over top of Akari, but this guy needs to be on top of him. So that's a problem we are going to have to fix. No big deal. Ninja costume. Boom. 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 So, you know, life is good. Life is good. I'm having a good time. Do 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 boom. Boom. Boo doo boo, a boo boo boo, a ba 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 doodly ba. Ninja 2 here. Well, at least all of these shapes seem to be filling successfully, albeit not perfectly perfect. Okay, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, like I said, you know, if you were a wee bit critical of this, I would not blame you, because it looks very, very rough. But I assure you, this goes by so fast, and the overall attitude of it, if you will, for lack of a better term, is so silly that it looks good. It feels good, and I'm going with what feels good on this shot. Boom. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just fix his hair so that all of my keyframes are in place. Okay, that takes care of that, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at this point I need to just put in a random dot so that it creates a keyframe. Okay, cool. Now I can go through and really pound it out. Pound it out? Hey, I once produced a song called Pound It Out. Yes, I did. He looks like a ghost, doesn't he? Yep, he looks like a ghost. I cannot emphasize enough how, you know, I got this thing. I was putting this together, and the more I looked at it, the more I realized that keeping it really loose and, you know, why am I explaining this? I'm explaining this because frankly it's a little embarrassing. This looks so crappy that it's a bit embarrassing, but yet it's not, because there it goes. So I'm just trying to explain myself. You just need to get a little bit of a something in there to indicate the poor guy's wraps. He's got these black, they're not exactly gloves, but they're functionally kind of like gloves, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to suffer the pain of getting those in there. Boom. 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 Alright, we're getting there, folks. We are getting there. One little tiny step at a time. Alright. Boom. Yep, time for some skin, baby. Skin. Right there. Oh, come on. Come on. As, once again, my friend Donio would say. Donio was the star of one of my films. A film called Clerical Errors. Which, honestly, from a distribution standpoint, is sitting on the shelf right now because I just haven't taken the time to get the distribution figured out. It had a good little local theatrical run. Okay. Now let's turn on lines and fills, and let's just see what happens. Okay, so now we need to take this empty keyframe here and put it there. So now when we zoom in, okay, cool. So yeah, so he's flying in front of Akari just fine. I am a little curious though. Oh, I see. I see. Yes, okay, so what's got to happen here is that ink 2 needs to be above and fills 2 needs to be above the regular fills. Okay, so again, we do have this problem. Obviously, you know, unless you're stupid, you're going to agree with me that that is a little bit of a problem. Why is he painted on one frame but not the next? And I'm going to say that, yeah, it's 40 minutes. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put off this problem. I am going to procrastinate on this particular issue. So if you're watching this and you're looking at this sort of stuff, now if you look over here, yeah, I mean, you're gonna say, boy, that looks pretty rough there, dude. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and defer on this, and here you can see an earlier iteration of the scene, of this scene that we're working on right now, before it was colored. So just so you don't think that it's all going to look like complete crap, I'll play a little bit of the show, so you can see that yes, in fact, it actually is not too horrible. Whoa, what fun! There he goes. He's going to get her. Oh, he got her. So you get the idea. So, you know, it's not too horrible. But, you know, once everything's in motion and colored and it's got a background and everything, you know, it flows pretty nicely. It's not too bad. So anyway, with that, I'm going to call it good. It's been 42 minutes on top of 30 minutes earlier, so that's almost an hour. So I'm going to have to marry those two together. And as I often say, there will be more.